Hello, everybody. I'm Zen, and welcome back to Virtual Voices, a podcast about roleplay and roleplay fighting. As you can see, Real Illusions isn't with us anymore. He decided that the podcast wasn't for him, and that he wanted to focus on other things in his life. I don't know exactly what it is. He really didn't say, but Real Illusions, we wish you the best luck in your life, and we look forward to hearing from you again. So, with that, hopefully I can find another partner, because a podcast isn't really the same with one person. It's good to have two people for a podcast. But let's just move on to the podcast and see what we have in store for us today. First, let's go over the news. So, there's not really much news going on. I haven't really taken the time out to, snoop around this area, snoop around that area to find some interesting news. But a tournament has started. I made a tournament. It's called the Tournament of Learning. And the Tournament of Learning is about it's to help people learn and provide a way of teaching for people to learn the ropes. And if there are experienced fighters, for them to gain a deeper understanding of what roleplay fighting is. So this is the Tournament of Learning. And also, Virtual Warfare, the server Virtual Warfare, and also the YouTube channel has been getting more people. The server has been getting more guests, and the channel have been getting more subscribers. So I want to thank everybody for subscribing. Thank everybody for joining the server, and stay tuned for some new features, videos, some new features in the Discord server and everything. Besides that, if anybody have any news they want to share or anything interesting that's happening in their life, per se, well, you can share it in the comment section. I'll read it, and then, maybe we can share it in the next podcast episode. Just so everybody can know what's going on with that person's life or what's going on in roleplay in general. So, today's lesson is going to be about creating an OC, or original character, for roleplay and roleplay fighting. Now, there's a difference in that. But before we get into that, we're going to play a song, and this song is from Devil May Cry. This is Devil Trigger. I think this is Nero's theme song. So this is Devil Trigger from Devil May Cry 5. All right, everybody, welcome back. That was Nero's theme from Devil May Cry, Devil Trigger. Now, let's get right into the subject. So, we know that roleplay fighting and RP or roleplay is different. You know, there are two different things. You know, one involves fighting, like actual systematic fighting. The other one just involves, you know, just playing a character, playing a role, whatever. You know, so we're not going to really get deep into the differences, but we will share some of the differences, or not some of the differences, just some of the things that entails roleplay character and our roleplay fighting character or roleplay fighting OC. So first is going to be roleplay character. So the one of the things that, you know, a roleplay character or OC, you can say OC. One thing an OC has is a background. You know, a background that tells about the character's history, tells about the character's, you know, story, or, you know, their purpose in their life, you know, in their character or their lifestyle. The background should be engaging. Now, I might give a little advice. You know, I don't want to give too much advice because it's the podcast, talk about certain things. So it should be engaging. The backstory should be engaging. You know, you don't want to have a backstory that just, you know, talks about what the character ate for breakfast and what he plans on eating for dinner. Like, you want to keep the reader engaged in the story. You know, you don't want to have things drawn out. You know, you don't want to talk about how he was born and his mom was screaming during his birth, and unless it's going to entail or correlate how correlates this character's personality, but you don't want to over detail the backstory. Just keep it engaging. The next thing, or something else that's a roleplay or OC has, is personality. You know, the personality is important when it comes down to creating an OC, because, you know, we want to express the character as much as possible, not with a lot of words, but just express it in a way where it can be relatable or it's engaging. It keeps the reader interested in what's being read. So some of these things, you know, or what people usually share this type of category with is likes and dislikes. You know, they say what the character likes. You know, the character can like anything. The character can like, you know, tattoos, or, you know, it can like certain foods, or, you know, it can like helping people. And the dislikes can be anything. It could be you know, loud places, or, you know, it can be you know, good people if you're building an evil character. So these things help build the character's personality and through the characteristics based off of likes and dislikes. Also, what's important is having a unique attire. You know, a unique attire that will kind of display or express the character's personality, you know. So you don't want to, you know, for example, you don't want to have like this super professional character, like, you know, working in business, but he wears like a motorcycle jacket and, you know, motorcycle shoes. Like, you want to match the attire with the character. But also it can just be, you know, it could be anything from having like a plain white shirt with like letters on it, or some type of design, or some type of like caption, or you can go beyond that and actually have some type of abstract attire. You know, for example, say like, you know, I make a character and it has like chains across the body, and, you know, the chains are this color. However, you know, you don't want to over detail the attire. You don't want to say, yeah, my character has chains across the body and it's the color of gold, and inside the chain it has rubies, and these rubies are, you know, this color, and inside that ruby, like, you don't want to over detail, because remember, you want to keep the reader engaged. You know, you don't want to over detailed things was like, man, it's boring, I don't feel like reading, because it's too much to read. It's too much to read, and it's not engaging. You know, you might have fun writing it, but the person reading it would be boring for them. Also, trademark abilities. You know, you want to have trademark abilities that fits the character's personality. You know, that's going to reflect the person's personality. You know, so if the person is like, you know, real, like an angry person, and, you know, it doesn't like people, you know, what do you think about? You know, anger, you know, hatred, whatever. For me, I think about fire. You know, so a trademark ability would be like a fireball, or anything that creates anything that complements the character's anything that complements the character's personality, which we would talk about later on when we talk about roleplay fighting characters, So this is one of the things, a trademark ability, something that no other character has, or something that this character is known for doing or known for having. Like Cyclops. Cyclops has the laser, Wolverine has the claws, Storm, manipulates storms and so on. You want to have a trademark ability that represents this character's persona or this character's uniqueness. And also, as simple as having a future goal, something that the character is looking forward to, a goal or reason why the character exists, So like you can make whatever character you want, but it would be also good to have that character have an established goal, So this is why this is why the player, the person who's controlling this character, is using this character, because it's trying to role play this character's future, or role play this character's ambitions out to achieve his goal. So this is what the role play is for, and that's pretty much it. This is pretty much the things that an OC should have in a role play. So it's a good backstory that's engaging, personality, characteristics like dislikes and likes, a unique attire that represents the character's persona, and also trademark abilities that represent the character's persona, or something, or abilities that the character is identified with or is known for, and also a future goal. A future goal is to continue to role play, something that the character can work forward to in a role play. So that's pretty much it. So before we get into what makes an OC for a roleplay fighter, we're going to listen to another song. And this song is Somewhere I Belong by Linkin Park. It's one of my favorite songs. It's a good song for me. I hope you enjoy it. So yeah, just stay tuned. that was Somewhere I Belong by Linkin Park. It's a good song again. I like lyrics and stuff like that. So yeah. So let's just continue on with our talk, or whatever you want to call it. So this is the interesting part. Now, we talked about what makes a roleplay character or OC character, backstory, personality, unique attire, etc. But guess what? These things also apply for a roleplay fighter, because at the end of the day, a roleplay fighter, like if you're making a character or OC for to roleplay fight, these things are also important too. They're not as important because you're not really using these things to fight. You're not going to attack with your backstory or attack with your attire. You're going to attack with your weapons and abilities and stuff like that. So, those are most important in a roleplay fighter or roleplay character used to fight. But also, the aforementioned categories are good to express the roleplay fighter character's persona and stuff like that. So, what's important for a roleplay fighter, a roleplay fighting OC, is consistency. You want to have consistency in your abilities. You don't want to drown yourself in ability. You don't want to say, my character has fireball that does this. Also shadow wall, where I can walk on shadows. Also lightning cloud, where I can fly in the air. Like, you don't want to have too many abilities because it doesn't seem realistic. Not realistic as in reality, but it doesn't seem like a character will have all these abilities. There's too many abilities. You don't want to drown yourself in abilities. And also, you don't want to look overpowered when you're making a OC for fighting. Also, weapons and your weapons and abilities should complement each other. For example, say my character is a fire mage, whatever, and I'm also a samurai or whatever. I would want to have like a fire sword. So my fire sword would complement my ability to manipulate fire. You don't want to have like, I'm an ice mage, but I'm carrying a fire sword. It doesn't build consistency. It's not consistent with your it's not consistent with each other. You have a weapon that's opposed to the actual ability. So you will always want to create a weapon that complements your ability, because it brings out the character. It brings out the character's consistency. It brings out the character's actuality or realism. When it comes down to making a character for fighting. But also, you also want to have balance. You don't want to have 5 different weapons. You don't want to have a spear on your back and you got daggers on your side and you got a sword on your hip and you got a staff in your hand. Like, you don't want to have too many weapons. You don't want to have too many different weapons, because it just doesn't, like, it's unrealistic. Like, I understand, it's role play, you can do whatever you want, but it doesn't seem realistic that this character is master of nunchucks, is master of a sword, is master of a spear, is master of, the butterfly knives, like the dual knives, the dual butterfly knives. It's unrealistic to have these things. Now, if you are going to have multiple weapons, it would be best to keep these weapons in the same family. Like, if you're a swordsman, you would have a sword. You would have like maybe a dagger or whatever. You will also have throwing knives. So all these things have blades. Therefore, they kind of correspond with each other. Even though the movements are different, that character will be familiar with blades and how blades cut and how blades are being thrown and how blades are, can maneuver in that character's hand. It's more realistic to have multiple weapons of the same thing. Multiple weapons of the same thing rather than multiple weapons of different calibers or whatever. So that's one thing that's important. So if we recap, what makes a good OC would be a backstory, a personality, a unique attire, trademark abilities that the character can stand by, a future goal, and also when roleplay fighting, all those things, but also consistency. You don't want to have too many abilities. You want your weapons and abilities to complement each other, and you want to have balance. You don't want to have too many different things, because you're just going to look like you're God mode or be unrealistic. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I have to say about these weapons. So If I missed anything, things that you guys know that makes a good OC, let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think will make a good OC for roleplay and roleplay fighting. So we're gonna play a song, and the next song is gonna be "I Want to Live." "I Want to Live" by Skillet. This is also one of my favorite songs. I'm going to stop playing my favorite songs. But this is also one of my favorite songs, and I like the lyrics. It's really inspiring, empowering. So yeah, so this is "I Want to Live" by Skillet.
In a grave of roses, while the night is closing in, my soul is so cold, but I wanna live again.
I know you'll come to me. I wait in misery. I wanna fight for this. Save me from this darkness. I reach for the light.
I want to live my life. The choice is mine. I made up my mind now. I'm free to start again. The way I wanna live and brave.
Breathe the way I want, that's right for me.
I may not know nothing else, but I know this. I want to live. All I ever needed was a reason to believe. You help me hold on. You ignite the fire in me.
You always come for me. You know just what I need. Don't make me wait for this. Save me from this darkness. I reach for the light.
I want to live my life. The choice is mine. I made up my mind now. I'm free to start again. The way I wanna live and brave.
Breathe the way I want, that's right for me.
I may not know nothing else, but I know this. I want to live. I'm breathing, still breathing, but I can't fight this fear alone. This feeling is killing slow, but now I know I want to live my life. The choice is mine. I made up my mind now. I'm free to start again. The way I wanna live and brave.
Breathe the way I want, that's right for me.
I may not know nothing else, but I know this. I want to live. I want to live. I know this. I want to live.
All right, everybody, welcome back. That was "I Want to Live" by Skillet. Again, one of my favorite songs, and I hope you like it. So that's pretty much the end of the podcast. At this time, I want to have a game, a game or something that people can look forward to in the next podcast. Unfortunately, I don't really know. I don't really have any games or have any puzzles or have any questionnaires that people can answer, and for the next podcast, and I give the answer in the next one. But maybe in the next podcast, I will make sure that we have something to do while we are away, like a game or a question or something like that, so we can come back and share the answer and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for listening. I was gonna say thanks for watching, but it's nothing to watch. Thanks for listening. I'm Zen, and this has been Virtual Voices. Deuces.